Alright, today the goal is to head out into the backyard and we're going to find a dogwood branch. One of the things I love about my backyard is that I planted a bunch of dogwood, and they're my favorite river plant, and they make great fly rods. So as you can see, I'm selecting one. I'm trying to find one that's relatively straight and thick enough to where it'll cast. So we'll cut this one off right here. Just take one slice of the knife there, and then trim it out. And this one ended up being really straight and beautiful for a little. It's actually kind of a tenkara style fly rod that we're going to make. The goal today is just to make a little rod and just be as minimal as possible. We're going to tie one fly a little bit later and catch one fish. Right here we're taking a notch out of the top. That'll stop the fly line when we get it tied on a little bit later. Here we're just tying one really simple elk hair caddis, and this one is just a string body, as minimal as we can make it, and we're just going to stack a little bit of deer hair onto this one. Just going to stack. This is about just a medium-sized caddis. This is a size 14 hook, one of those Gamakatsu barbless hooks. Really super thin wire on that hook, and it helps to float really high, so there's nothing to weight the fly down. It's also just a really elegant hook. I'm going to trim this, just a really super simplest of flies, and trim that up just a little bit, and I'm going to drop this in my little, it's a Sims box that I got some aluminum star cleats in, and anyway, we're just going to drop the one fly in the box, and just about ready. Now we're gonna create the rod. First, we've got some string that's just craft string from a local, like a fabric craft store. I'm gonna melt the ends of it. I think it's nylon, so the ends don't fray. Just touch them like that. We're gonna adhere a leader. This is just an old piece of leader that I had laying around, and I'm gonna create a loop. So you see that I actually tied a small knot in the end of that, and then we're gonna do a slip knot here, and then I'm gonna use the loop on the end of the leader and just kind of do a handshake, just a simple handshake knot here. I'm gonna pull this through. Pull that through, and then we'll tighten it up, and that works just fine for a little leader. Notice that the running line is not very long. It's just a, on a 10-car rod it would be called the Lillian, and on a 10-car rod the Lillian is only a couple inches long. This is a little bit longer because the rod's real short here, and we needed a little bit of running line to turn over the leader. So here we're just tying on the running line to the end of the rod, just a simple overhand knot, and we're tightening it into the notch that I made beforehand. And it's nice and tight, and we'll trim this out, flame it just a little bit. We're ready to go on that connection. This little stick was kind of interesting because it's got a piece on the base that we're going to wind the line around. Here we're just waxing the line. This running line is not waterproof by itself, so we want it to float. And so I'm just going to run some paraffin wax. It's just one of those tea light candles. So I'm going to run some paraffin wax down this, just to make sure that it floats. It also gives it a little bit of weight to turn over that leader too. A little bit of paraffin wax, and then we're just going to use the little notches in the base of this stick to wrap my line around. Pretty simple. And then once we've got that done, I've actually tied the fly onto that end of that line, and then we're just going to stick the fly in the bark, and we're just about ready to go catch a fish.